Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the SoWatchPodcast. And if you heard me correct, it is the SoWatchPodcast, y'all. I'm your girl Key.
I'm your girl Treasure.
And we got part 2 for you guys of Lib Season 8. We are talking weddings, the shock factors and the mess and the tea that we got at that reunion, and also a little special surprise that we're going to get into at the end of the reunion video. So thank you guys for joining in again. If you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button down below so you don't miss another episode. Y'all, we talk about it all, and especially because our next episode we're doing, we got the I Watch, You Watch of our series, and stay tuned, guys, for tomorrow. We have a little bit of a reel for you guys where I'm going to be finding out what video Tresh told me to watch, y'all. I'm kind of scared because I thought it was one video. She told me it's not that. So now I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's definitely a surprise.
Yeah.
I've talked about this video, but I don't actually know if you know, like, you know what I mean? It was before we, lived together again. Because I used to watch it with, like, my twin brother. Our brother.
Gosh, wow. I'm getting pretty, antsy for it. So you guys are going to see actually my reaction.
I think it's 2023.
2023. Okay, so maybe, recent still.
Maybe. Yeah. Recent, maybe 2023, 2022. Is that tracking, when you came back?
Yeah, 2023. Right?
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm excited, y'all. Y'all gonna see my visit live, guys. So this is something new. We're gonna be having some reels for you guys to give you guys a little bit of spoilers because, we love that you guys have been showing us love with the views, the likes and stuff. So thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate you guys. Please keep them coming. Please tell your friends.
Coming. They're gonna be faster, stronger, better. No.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hopefully better.
We're gonna keep them coming. So let's get into what this video is about today.
Absolutely. Let's get into it, guys. So
let's do a dive.
A dive right in. I was sadly mistaken with how this season ended up for me. I really thought, honestly, when we were going into last dates, I really thought we were getting 4 for 5. And we were gonna have literally the most successful season. However, based on the things that you've been seeing, you basically already knew that was not going to be happening.
See, I when you're like, oh, okay, please tell me. What did you say? Please tell me we at least get 2.
We at least get 2 for 5, and we're on average.
I was just like,
oh gosh.
I don't want to tell you, but I also didn't want you to be super upset, so I wanted to tell you.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
Some hint,
no, I appreciate it because you know what? I'm not gonna lie, because I've been getting into watching spoilers for one of my other favorite shows. If y'all don't know, I talked about this before, The Challenge. I literally look at the spoilers now of who wins and all this stuff like that, and I want to.
Because you don't want to get too attached,
upset,
and then you get so upset, and you're like, okay,
I can't watch.
What is the point? Every couple that I really like or get invested in, whatever, they're
yeah.
They don't end up together.
Right.
So, yeah. I'm kind of the same way, but I'm also starting to realize, with the show, the pattern is, you can't look at it anymore like you did in, the first maybe, 2, where it's, it seems super genuine.
Absolutely.
And super sincere with people that actually want to find people. Now you're just getting, the clout chasers and, the wannabe influencers. Yeah. And so you have to look at it kind of more so, a Love Island kind of thing. You're not actually super upset whenever you find out they break up after Love Island. No one's that upset for Love Island. You know what I mean? These are already influencers that want to just up their game, up their popularity, right? Yeah. And that's kind of how I'm taking how to look at Love is Blind now. They did, I think, kind of listen to us where it was let's go with older.
Yes, they did
a little bit, but at the same time, it's just I think everybody probably would rather be an influencer.
That's what I'm saying. Then what their job? That's what I was gonna say.
Picking your own schedule, you're probably gonna want to do that more. 100%. Depending on, no matter what your age is and everything like that. Mm-hmm. So that's the biggest problem is maybe finding people. I think we discussed this earlier. Finding people that are not on social media. Even though I don't know how you'd go in their DMs to ask them if they want to do it.
Yeah.
But maybe you go on dating websites already. Right. Or dating apps already.
That's what I'm saying.
People, you know what I mean? And go to people that actually say oh, I want to find a husband or whatever. Because and I think a lot of dating apps now, I'm not on any anymore, but a lot of them would tell you what they're looking for just to make it easier and kind of end that conversation, Right. And so go to people that are I want to look for a long-term serious relationship.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's what it is, and I think I've now come to that. Okay, yes, they made it older, and I agree with you with that when you said that, but I also think now that it's we're pretty much, because of what's going to be happening, there's going to be a lot of little scandalous things happen, which I think the show wants, because it brings more viewership and there's more something to talk about it after. When I just feel like a lot of people now are strategic with it, that they're going on this show to want to be casted on another. So sometimes it sucks for us that want authenticity. Did I say that correct? Authenticity? Yeah. Sorry, y'all. That you're going to get a lot of people playing nice where they wouldn't normally, because they're thinking, okay, they're going to be casted on Perfect Match next or some whatever show.
That's another problem, right? They came up with Perfect Match, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, as long as I hit Netflix, it doesn't mean like my career is over. Because it's like, oh, there's like extensions.
Exactly.
And it's like, I could also see, like, you know how they had Chloe from like Too Hot to Handle, and then she was on The Circle. Like, I could see just a lot of like integration, and that's another problem. It's like, okay, as long as I stay on Netflix or whatever, like there could be a potential contract, and the more mess I cause, whatever, there could be a potential contract. Like I can see like them, like Madison, I think is definitely going to Perfect Match at some season.
So. I feel like
Molly
she will
maybe, you know what I mean. Madison for sure is like a shoo-in. I think honestly.
I think so too. Yeah.
If Jessica was a shoo-in, sorry, Madison is absolutely a shoo-in.
Yeah.
The guys, I honestly wouldn't want to see any of them.
I wouldn't either.
Absolutely none.
No, I wouldn't also.
I don't think they should ever go back to TV, but Madison for sure.
The only one I think...
Madison has like a bad rap, but... So.
Oh my gosh, why? I think Ben... I think we and you just seem to like all the people that everybody hates, and I don't get what you guys not seeing. Maybe it's just because we're not from America.
I guess, maybe
that's
like,
what it is.
Yeah, we don't see those American signs.
Yeah.
But
I think Ben's going on Perfect Match. Like, I think he's
okay, like,
too.
Here's my issue before we, like, jump on to, like, what this video is actually about.
Yeah.
I think, like, if they were to choose... Because to me, it was, like, Madison, like, genuinely wanted to find someone.
Yes, she definitely...
And, like, as much as, you know, whatever you want to say, like, you know, she's... manipulative, she like, you know,
understand that,
you know, they say she's manipulative. She's a a pick me. I heard pick me for her, and I was flabbergasted.
Oh my!
We'll get into that later. As much as, you know, she caused all these problems or whatever else, even though I was like, everyone chose to like her. It wasn't like she made them like her. But anyways, she wanted to find someone.
Yeah.
And she wanted to be with somebody.
Yeah.
And that you can't argue, no matter if you like her or not, you can't argue that she wanted there to find the right
person for her.
She was there for the right reasons.
Right, exactly.
Now, Ben, I think that he could have been there for the right reasons, you know, whatever else, and I don't wrong him for that. But the problem with Ben for me is the fact that, like, he was still doing, like, fuckboy shit. Like, he was still doing all the stuff that, like, you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
If you want to create a relationship.
Yeah.
And that is my issue, is like, okay, there's a difference between like a guy being ready and a girl being ready, and the girl being ready is like, well, she still wants to find love and she's still gonna love you. However, she does have like toxic traits where she'll do like maybe like a push and pull or whatever. A guy not ready is like, he still wants to bang a whole bunch of people.
Right. Okay.
So like, you know what I mean? Both are bad.
They're both bad.
But like a girl, I think for the most part, wants to always like be loved and like be nurtured and all that stuff like that. Whereas like a guy is more so fine by himself, and being like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do me then. It's very easy for a guy to go back and be like, okay, I'm just gonna go do me versus like a girl doing it genuinely, you know what I mean, and not crying in the shower like
for
she's
sure
done doing her.
No, for sure. No, I think Madison came in for all the right reasons. She was right because I don't think she's a clout chaser by any means or any sort of necessary. And the fact that people are gonna probably said this about her, that she's like that because she's coming to the, like how she came to the reunion with the receipts. I'm like, no, because she knows that people are gonna put her name through the mud, and she's like, no, I'm here to put my name out there, that I didn't try to do anything other than try to actually have someone love me, like the right person love me. And the fact that she's very emotional, aware of that, is I think people can learn from.
We left off was everyone was basically having like their final dates, and then we were going to go on to the next couple episodes, which was going to be like the wedding and everything like that.
Gotcha.
Now, I already knew, because unfortunately TMZ broke the news that there was one couple, and I, you know, I didn't even have to do like much research. It was literally like, oh, TMZ told everyone who ended up being married, and I, you know, it was Taylor and Danielle. Now, I think that it didn't come as a surprise because of the fact that like they were the only ones where they put the parents together.
Yes,
and
that's right.
No other couple did that. Like they would have like where they're meeting their parents separately. And me, it was like the fact that they're like, no, we're all one big happy family. Like we're all involved, even though the mom's a little bit extra. We're all involved and everything like that. I was like, okay, I like this. This is pretty good. I love Daniel's family.
Oh, I did too.
I love Daniel's family.
Yeah.
And I think like at the wedding too, having the sister sing
Oh, she's getting a record deal, right? Like, that's what I was thinking.
I'm like, okay. I saw like a lot of like where people were like, "Oh my God, she's saying it beautifully," blah blah blah, and I was like, she was like, fine.
No. Oh,
I wasn't blown away.
She could have got a little record deal. So I'm like, okay, maybe she could get something after that. But no, it was
worse singers that have record deals. Yeah. So we definitely saw that, and I was just like, okay, I don't think you're going to put something like super sweet like that if you were planning on saying no. You know what I mean? Right. Like, why would you ever do that? Unless like you were really like conniving and you're like, okay, well, maybe I get my sister like a record deal, like you're saying. Yeah. And I'll have her saying, I'm saying no, but like, oh, whatever, I'll do it for the fam. Daniel didn't come across to me like that.
That was for anything other than for it to just make a moment in memories for our
so I was like, okay, they're obviously getting married and, obviously turned out to right. I already knew it from the beginning. What did you think about their wedding? Like, did you think that they were saying yes 100%?
100%. I was like, it's not turning back, because after... Like I said, like how he's like, oh, I'm bringing my parents over to Taylor's house and they're all going to meet together. And then, Daniel's parents asked like, oh, how do you guys feel about it? And they were like, no, we're 100% on board. That seemed like someone that is serious when the parents are meeting and not separately. Because I think there's only ever one other couple that did that in Love is Blind, like history, right? It was Kenny and Kenny, even though they didn't get married, unfortunately, but we just don't see that happening. So I was like, the fact that happened, I was like, okay, it's serious. So I was like, 100% they're not saying no. I also noticed a little bit of a trend, actually, that the couples that always say yes are always the last couple of the whole season to get married. It's always the last one. They always get married. I realized that because season one...
End on a good note.
Yeah, because I remember season one...
And on dessert.
Yeah, and on dessert. Because no, think about it. Season one... Cameron and Lauren went last. Yeah. Season 2, Alexa and Brennan went last. Season 3, well, there was more than one, so we don't even really talk about that one so much. But even if you just look at, like, even in season 3, Colleen and Matt went last. You know what I'm trying to say? I believe Taylor and Garrett was Garrett.
Colleen and who? Matt. Colleen and Matt were the same with Brennan and Alexa, though.
Oh, yeah, but they went last, too, and they were, like...
So they were the last two couples?
They were, like, the last two couples, They said yes. And then, obviously, with season 4, there was a lot of couples, but even, I think it was Brett and Tiffany went last. They got married, right? And I think if we go through it, I'm not going to go through every single season, but I'm pretty sure it's like that, because even the last season with Taylor and it's Garrett, right? That's his name, right? That's her husband's name, right?
Yeah.
Her name's Taylor, right?
Yeah, Taylor.
Okay, so there's two Taylors.
Actually a TikTok, Taylor, like, Disco Baby is like her name. Taylor, and then Taylor from this season. Yeah. They just actually did a video on TikTok. I don't have TikTok, but I saw it on Instagram.
Oh, that's cute.
And it was like, what is it, the Taylor's getting married? Or something like that. Yeah, something like that. And they're like drinking like cocktails, and I was like, that's actually hilarious.
That's
but like
so cute.
Also horrible. Yeah. And I was like, other Taylors, I guess you have to sign
like just sign up
to like find your person.
Yeah, because like she was Garrett, they went last, right?
Taylors,
and they went last,
getting married.
Yeah, that's actually so cute. I love seeing the interactions between the couples from past seasons.
I like seeing coming together. I like it too. Like they have like that community, and I guess whatever it is that happens in those damn pods, for them all to say, well, it's different. Like, it's different than anything you've ever done before, and blah, 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 which I honestly can't imagine it being different. Like, minus the fact that you can't see them, I honestly can't imagine it being different than, like, maybe falling in love, like, online with someone.
That's what I was gonna...
You know what I mean?
Potentially,
like, there was, like, maybe looks online or whatever, but there also is, like, a lot of sites where, like, there isn't looks online, and obviously there's still catfishing and all those different things. Yeah. So it's, like...
That's true. You know, how do you feel about the tattoo? We're gonna end it off on that. How do you feel about the tattoo he got him?
I think he should have done it like right here in the middle, more so than off to the side.
But like he just.
But I don't like that he did it. I don't like that he did it like in the square. It would have been better if he just did like actually like the eyes, and then just did like maybe like an extension of lashes. So like it was like just pretty. And, like if he did it on the side or whatever, it was just like the eyes. He didn't have to have the square. You know what I mean?
Because it's like she's looking through like a peephole. Like,
that's what it looks like.
But cute. Oh, like cute. I've never seen someone that's cute. And much less, I didn't think he would be someone to do that. So, like, I could see a Joey. I could see someone like Joey doing that.
Yeah, he said he talked to his tattoo. Let's not talk about Joey. He said he talked to his tattoo artist, and I was like, does he have other tattoos? Like,
yeah, that's what I was like. Does he even have any
others?
I don't
remember that.
Him having tattoos like that. So he's like, talk to my tattoo. I'm like, okay, interesting. But yeah, I like them. That was very, very
let's
cute.
get into a couple that I thought was going to get married, and up until I want to say like the last. So what we made it to? How many episodes were in this season?
I think we got 14 including reunion?
14. So I want to say like, and they gave us how many the second round?
Like second when they released?
Yeah.
3 and 3 every time.
Okay, so I think like whenever we're doing the dates, I want to say like I knew that Monica and Joey were not going to get married, and I knew, and and I'm saying like I knew everyone who was not going to get married besides Taylor and Daniel, but I knew like 100% why like Monica and Joey were not going to get married. And let's just also get into this because I also want to talk about the sham of like sincerity that he put on like this show.
Okay,
like
for sure.
I honestly can't stand Joey. Guys, if you saw the last video, watch it before this one, but I did not like Joey from
We were both not a fan.
I was not a fan at all. I couldn't stand his voice, and honestly, like, that's so, like, nitpicky because obviously no one can choose a voice. I don't even like my voice half the time. Yeah. But I just, like, I was like, he sounds really good at being, like, the goofy guy, like, and the goofy golden retriever-esque, you know, kind of, like, persona. And to me, I was like, there's something underlying there that I don't like. But I thought that Monica and him getting along so well could maybe, like, tame that and it would disguise it better, if that made any sense. Right. And then, I kind of saw more and more and went on, and he kept talking about, like, the sister, and it was like, well, I don't really care about the sister, but, like, you should. And I was just thinking, like, well, then obviously you care about the sister. And, like, why would you say that you don't care what she thinks? But then he ended up being a hypocrite because he took it back later on at the reunion. Yeah. But I knew that she was not going to accept it because she was like, first of all, you could tell that man was not attracted to her. And I don't get why, though. That was the craziest thing that man did not want her. Yeah. And he literally, like, just looked like he was, like, maybe, like, I don't want to say a gay best friend, but, like, that was, like, literally the trope that I was getting. And the fact that, like, she was literally, like, to me, in her eyes, I was just seeing, like, does he want me? Like, do you want me? Like, when she would be talking to him, she's like, do you want me? Yeah, and he was just like, la, 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 la. Like,
in La La Land the whole time. Yeah. Yeah, it was hard. No, like I said, what she said at the reunion, like, I completely felt so bad for her in that sense, because like she just wanted to be wanted. It just looks like super begging. She wasn't even trying to come up with that, and like she even said at the reunion that I'm just so embarrassed because I should have saw the signs from before that this was literally all just an act and that you didn't like me, and I should have shut it down from before. But because I was so open to the experience and I actually wanted to find someone and I came here for a reason, that blinded. But it's like your gut was telling you something else. And like the fact that he said, oh, the reason why he didn't want to try to get physical and try to see if there's something there because of her sister. I'm like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. I love how Nick Lachey called him out for that. And he's like, wait, no, brother. That's not going to work. You can't use that as an excuse here. If that's how you felt about her this whole time and you were not ever going to get there, right? Then why not just cut it off, right? There had to be a reason of some reason. Like, this is ridiculous. And then obviously we saw the whole thing that had come out recently about the video about him not even turning down being casted twice, right? I think that's what happened.
Yeah, apparently there was like a rumor that he was basically like begged to be on the show, but he knew that he never actually wanted to get married. And like you kind of saw that with his friends being like, oh, the fact that he's saying marriage at all like is weird to us.
Yeah, like what this video was showing.
Always claimed that I don't believe in marriage, don't want marriage, whatever else. Mm-hmm. And to me, I was just like, okay, you just wasted my time.
No, her time when
her time. My time because I'm watching this and like
your time for sure.
But like especially obviously you wasted like Monica's feelings. But to me also too, I was like, when she said at the wedding, like, I love you, and he said, Monica never, this is the first time I've ever heard her say I love you. And it was true, and this is what I was saying to you, where I was like, it's a weird proposal. You didn't say I love you at all, but you're like, and you said, would you get engaged with me? Not would
that's what I said. That was a trouble.
And then that was literally the teller. Like, you're saying, would you get engaged with me? Because you knew you weren't making it to the end. Yeah. Boy, bye. So, bye from Joey. Bye. Let's get into another couple. Yes, please. I think that, I think Nick and Vanessa, no, what's her name? Vanessa? What's her name?
Which one? Who?
Nick's wife.
Yeah, Vanessa. Okay.
Oh, okay, bomb. Yeah. Even Nick and Vanessa, I think, were shocked with the Virginia and Devin.
Yes, let's get into that.
Were you shocked?
I was a little bit shocked because I actually thought that they were saying yes. Like, I actually thought, So I'll just let's replay back. When I saw that Ben and Sarah went first, and that one, we'll talk about them a little bit more. But as soon as there was a no from Sarah, I was like, okay, we're getting 2 for 5. After that, I was like, we're getting 2 for 5, right? And then when I'm watching it, mind you, Virginia and Devin went right before they had Taylor and Daniel's wedding, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, we're getting 2 for 5 because I'm like, she's saying yes.
Oh, you're
after
like,
that, she sold that. After he signed the prenup, I was like, I thought that was the only hurdle that we needed to get. Yeah. We're supposed to be getting. Like,
really?
You know
so
what I mean?
Didn't see like the bedroom scene as like a problem? Because I did.
It kind of was a problem,
and I was like, okay, I don't feel like, to me, she was fully satisfied
with his answers and when they had a conversation.
And like the fact that like he was like shutting it down on her, I felt like she handled it very well and not in the way that Sarah did. And like we'll get to Sarah and Ben later. I honestly am dreading it, but I think that like Virginia handled it very well. As much as people say that she's like really soft spoken, whatever, she did a good job to me in trying to navigate that conversation and like trying to like bring out his views in like a positive way, as to not make it seem like you're wrong if you don't agree with what I'm saying. Right. She was like, I just want to know what you think about it.
And he didn't want to speak on it.
Yeah. And then, you know, he later just come find out that he was like, I just didn't want to talk about it on camera because obviously he doesn't want to be
painted as a villain in some sort of way about these certain issues.
Obviously people are going to come for you and, you know, unfortunately that's just the game of, you know, being on TV.
For sure. So, and the thing is too,
she was beautiful.
She was very pretty, like a very pretty bride.
She was
for sure.
Beautiful
and you know what's
bride.
funny that you
Only
say
dress I liked.
And I think that was
ever in the show.
Yeah, I think
I have never liked anyone's dress.
No,
ever.
she was absolutely beautiful. And like my thing, I just want to say, like there was always something about her that I just couldn't put my finger. Like I just didn't like her. Like her fully, because I'm like everything that she's speaking and everything of her values. Right, I'm like. You should be like up there, like number one, like how I love like Zenab and I love me some Mallory and
some Brittany.
I love some Brittany.
Yeah. I watched Brittany. Sorry,
you go ahead.
No, Brittany. Oh my god, I love Brittany. I rewatched it recently, actually.
You telling me?
Yeah, I love Brittany.
I like her. So
Brittany, I think is my number one.
Oh, more than Zenab. Oh, wow. We have to talk about that more. But back on the video, but like I expected her to be up there with like her values and stuff, and it just wasn't giving. There's something about it that I just did not like. And I'm not gonna lie, that whole prenup thing, I was not a fan of that, y'all. If you guys watched the previous, I was not really a fan of that. Game. And there's just something about it. And then when I'm watching their scenes with their families, I'm like, she's saying yes. Like, there's no way she's saying no. Like, I didn't, you know what I mean? And then she said no. I was in shock. I remember I was watching it with mom, and I was like, what? I had to get up and walk away. I'm like, this girl said no. I was like, no, rewind. I was like, rewind. She didn't say no. Like, this is a joke, right? She said no.
Hilarious.
I was like, okay, good luck. I'm like, I got up and watched it. I'm like, what? She said no? How dare she have the idea? And then she goes on and says, I'm not ready. I'm not ready? What? You came from Love is Blind because you're ready to be married. I was so lost and confused. And then he just started crying, and I was like, oh my God.
It was absolutely, okay, first of all.
I was shocked.
It was absolutely, like, heartbreaking to see him cry. I'm not a huge fan of Devin, especially, like, after like, the reunion. Mm-hmm. But it was heartbreaking to watch him bawl and cry his eyes out. And he's like, Mommy, like, I need you. And I don't care what anyone says, the Mommy, I need you thing, whatever, I think just never goes away. And I thought it was very endearing because, you know, how a man treats his mom for the most part is how he's going to treat you. Mm-hmm. Now, her saying she wasn't ready, at the time before the reunion, it was like, okay, you're like, girl, what the hell? Like, you knew the timeline from the jump. But whenever she explains it, you're like, okay, it makes sense. Like, I'm not ready in the sense to marry you. I could have been married right now, but I'm not ready to marry you because I'm not satisfied with XYZ and I don't feel like I know enough. Like, I'm not ready because I don't know enough about you. Right. Like, I could have known. Absolutely. You wouldn't let me know.
You wouldn't let me know.
You know what I mean? So it made sense after that, but I couldn't just stop. I am straight, guys. Like, I'm 99% straight, 98% straight, but I could not just stop looking at how beautiful she was.
No, I
couldn't even lie to you guys.
She was slaying the looks, man.
She looked so beautiful. I loved the highlight of her hair. Like, she got the gold in there. Her dress was beautiful. Even when she was crying, I was like, this man honestly had no choice but to say yes when she walked down the aisle. I was like, even if he wanted to say no, how could he say no to her?
How could he? No, and his yes was so definitive. Like, this is my one.
Yeah,
like, this is my one.
He literally was just like, why are you asking this stupid question?
No, why are you asking this question? Like, couldn't we have the wedding earlier?
Yeah,
like, what's taking so long? I can't wait.
Yes.
Yeah, he's like, I cannot wait to say yes. And that's what he said, right? So when I seen this, I'm like, I was just like, oh, it was hard. But then at the same time, I was like, I wanted to, it's so weird because it's like, I wanted to see them get married because they would make such a beautiful couple and all that stuff. But then there's, like I told you, there's something about it that I was like, there's something about it I was like, no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they didn't, so I was like, oh, it sucks for Devin because it's like that. But then I'm like, oh, okay, it's not that bad. And then I said to myself, you know, I even said, like, after she said no, I'm like, well, I told our mother that I'm like, oh, they're both going to find someone else. Like, especially her. I wouldn't be surprised if we find out down the line she's dating like a pro. Like, she's getting married. Like, after anyone who watched this, her DMs are flooded. I'm sorry, her DMs are getting flooded because she's a beautiful woman, has great morals and all that. Soft-spoken. Has her own money. Like, she's good. She's soft-spoken, and I think most guys actually like women that are, like, soft-spoken, like her type of voice. I think she's fine. Even for him, how he showed who he was on camera and all this stuff like that. I think he's okay. And then he said stuff like that. I think up until the reunion, he'll probably still get somebody, but they're both going to be okay. And then some of the stuff she addressed at the reunion is very interesting.
The check?
That is a
so she talked
and the birthday present thing.
Yeah, so she talked about all that, like, before the reunion. Remember, like, when they're on the couch and, like, talking?
Yes.
She talked about that. And to me, okay, as much as, I mean, I know you kind of, like, don't agree with what I'm about to say. Okay, and, like, you know, it's because, the way that you walk, right? And I mean the way that you walk with the Lord. Not the way you actually walk. Not the way you physically walk. I think that, honestly, I think if you're about to get into, like, a whole marriage or whatever, I think you guys need to sleep together. Because I think that because I think sexual chemistry is an actual thing, and I think that it actually could destroy a marriage. So I think that they absolutely, like, should sleep together. I'm not saying, like, right, you know, when they're in Honduras or anything like that, but even the fact that, like, she was like, okay, yeah, I'm willing to do it, and then she's like, he didn't even try anything really with me physically, and even, like, the kisses and stuff like that. Was it her that she was like, we didn't even make out or something like that? I don't even know,
okay.
The fact that, like, she was like, there was none of, like, any kind of advancement in, like, their physical relationship, I would be hesitant. I mean, for sure, I'd be hesitant as me, but I'd be hesitant to, like, being anybody else that, you know, is not a complete, like, asexual, you know what I mean?
Got you.
So I understand her being like with like their political relationship, I guess, and their physical relationship, whatever. I think both of those are actually too much, and I would get her saying she's not ready.
Right. So here's my only other thing, so the way how I look at this, I'm like, so you don't think that they could have pulled, like, a Russell Wilson and Sierra, because they apparently were celibate with each other before they got married. Obviously, they weren't celibate before.
But they had a long time to date.
Longer than this? Okay, so you're saying it's timeline.
As well, though.
Oh, okay, right.
A long time with all of that, like, festering and everything like that. I don't think that there's a problem with waiting and being celibate. I think in the normal world, I think there's a problem with doing it in Love is Blind world. Oh, in Love is, because it's kind of like... Yeah, like, if sex is a big deal to you, I think there's a problem with waiting. Got you. Yeah. But I'm like, you knew that, right? Like, their relationship with Sierra and Russell Wilson. I knew that, yeah. That they were celibate. I knew that they did everything the right way. The right way. The right way. But, so in my head, okay, so here's another thing about that, too, right? Is that, do you not think that he was trying to be potentially on his side now, that I'm not going to try to, I'm going to be not so much trying to force something so that you're going to get the vibe that that's all I want. Be different than what you're used to. Do you think that could have potentially played it faster? Yeah. I think so, but I just, you know, I mean, we weren't there in the bedroom. Like, I don't know if she tried to put moves on him and then he was rejecting it. I have no idea if she even voices to him, you know, later on, like, if she voices to him, whatever, going through things, and obviously we found out now that he didn't want some things to not be on camera. Right, so I have no idea what happened in the bedroom. Yeah. I'm just saying the fact that she's saying that, like it never advanced, like meaning that he never tried because she was open to it, I think is the problem. And like, again, even you saying that is like, oh, you know, he felt this way. That's all good and gravy, and maybe she could have accepted that. But then again, like there was no conversation between them, so they were on different pages.
I think so too.
So again, you're not ready. You're not on the same page going into it.
100%. I agree. Let's get into
the last couple.
Yes, which is the Ben and Sarah. I'm very disappointed in this one.
You can just talk.
I'm going to be honest. I'm very disappointed in this one. And you know,
wanted them to
I really actually wanted them to get married. And I really liked them as a couple. But obviously everything that's coming out and the reason why Sarah's saying no, my reaction when she said no was not like when Virginia said no. I was like, I get it. I understand it. What she wanted is someone to be her social activist partner and teammate, partner in crime, and Ben was not that. And when she explained it at the reunion, it was absolutely perfect and understandable for me, because at first I was thinking, okay, so you're just not gonna marry him because he's not like super in tune with that with you. Like that's something that he can grow and all these things like that. And I guess for her, she's like, she wanted it to be that, and she had hesitations from the jump, even before she said yes, but she was trying to feel it out and give him time. By the time they did, and he did not. And I agree with her. You didn't even try to engage in these conversations with me. You know what's important to me. You didn't even try to do
I'm going to speak to that. I'm just going to wait till.
No, wait till I'm done. Yeah. And the only thing I'm going to say about this, where I can kind of see Ben's point, where it's like, okay, how would you expect me to really know that? Is when she said that, what is your church's stance against this? Like, how is someone going to know if you're not someone that cares for that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how would he know that? Because he never had to know that. You know what I'm trying to say? So you asking him that question, how would he know that? So I'm not going to fault him for that. I'm faulting Ben 100% for not trying to actually try to be the person that she wanted, which is someone who active in these things and actually trying to do it, which he tried to take credit for. Tried to say that he didn't do his part. Now, the thing I'm upset about with this is the stuff that how he tried to say that they were broken up after this woman fully had a conversation with you that you're going to go live with her for 2 months and then you thought you were breaking up. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
But
then, you know, the issue with Ben is that he's just forgetful Ben. Like, he doesn't remember anything. So, that's the thing.
That's his name, for real, forgetful Ben.
So, that's the thing with Ben, where I was like, okay, I'm over you. Because I'm like, so convenient how every single freaking thing that happens where you can be like, you know, put to the cross, you don't remember. Yeah. Every single thing you don't remember conveniently. It's just like, do you remember your last name? Like, I just
Mazinga.
I'm not buying into it, and like I'm over it.
That's his last name, right? Though it was Mazinga, right?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure it's Mazinga. Don't quote me on that.
Idea. Yeah. But so yeah, I was just over Ben. The thing for me where I was just like I'm over Sarah was like I don't have a problem with someone being an activist and then you wanting that in a partner.
Yeah.
I have a problem with you not leading with that. Where it's like your deal breaker.
Right.
And it seemed like it was your deal breaker in the pods, and then you coming out and being like, okay, like, let's like make this work, whatever. And like, you know, he did say, like, when I watched back, it was like, Ben, like, ask your questions back. And it's like, but you don't care strongly, and that's fine. Yeah. That to me, it was enough. Like, I'm not an activist, but to me, it was enough that he was like, I will look into it. Like, we can find a church together. Yeah. I will go with you to these marches. I will support you, and I will support that, because when I do think of it, yes, I agree with you, but it's not on the forefront of my mind. Left it in the pods, and when she decided that it wasn't, and I was forgetting that he's open, and all you said was that you wanted open, and that's why you left with him. Then to go back and be like, wasn't you? I don't.
No, I agree with you. No, that is like a perfect point, because I think you're perfectly right about she should have led with that in the pods, because then their conversation would have been done and then they would never have gotten to the point where they're at. If it was a deal breaker in the pods, you would have wrote him off from day 2 and dated somebody else.
And dated like after, and then like slowly done their relationship and seen, you know, but to like make him think that he's getting married up until this point and whatever else, like.
And then it's not bothering you, but maybe, again, we only saw what they put on camera. So for all we know, she could have been pestering him this whole time.
If she was there pestering him, and to me it was annoying, like she constantly, it was like Chelsea and Jimmy, like she's like, you love me, I love you. It was like that to me, like in the season where she's like, I mean, like BLM, like, gay rights, whatever. Like, that was so annoying. Every single time that's what you expected when you saw them. Like, you can't tell me you didn't. You're
no,
like, okay,
every time they're showing them, I'm like, are they going to be talking about
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so,
it's kind of like
the fact that was every conversation that we saw, and, like, apparently they had other connection, like, they had other interests that were similar, because we didn't see it. All we saw was that. So, to me, bringing it up every single time that they were on camera and they had X amount of scenes together, I would be like, the fact that this man still wants her and that's all she's talking about, or she's even talking about it, like, too much, like, it's not like, you know, where you need to have multiple conversations, like, what about finances? Like, what about what our future's gonna look like? What about whose house we're moving into? What about what lease I have to break? Like, what about those things? Like, and then, again, we never saw those things, but it was, like, the fact that we only saw that, and we still never really saw them have, like, a great time together, like, I was like, he's strong.
No, he really wanted to get married.
Yeah, like he really wanted this girl. So, you know, taken in two different ways. It's like, oh, he's not a strong activist, but he's
strong support activist for you. Yeah.
But he loves me and he's willing to put up with, like, me being the most annoying creature on earth. Like, that's a lot.
No. Like, again, he said to his friends after she said, no, I was getting married today. Like, this was a done deal.
Yeah.
Like, she was supposed to be Miss Mazinga.
Yeah. Okay? It's not like, like, does he love me? It's, am I super annoying and he still wants me? And that's what you need to ask yourself when you're marrying people. Yeah. It's not, do they love me? It needs to be like, can I annoy them for the rest of my life and they're gonna stay?
Yeah, no.
And he would have.
Yeah, no. And
so.
Okay, so now what do you think about this stuff that happened at the reunion? So the reason why I thought that she said no to Ben is not what, it is what it was. But now I'm seeing that there's another reasons why she was good to say no to him, because of the way he acted off of camera. Like, bro, why are you reaching out to Jimmy and listening to what Jimmy has to say? Did Jimmy get married? Anyways, that's a whole other story in itself.
I don't know why you would,
that's a whole other story in itself. But let's talk about, what do you think about what he was saying about he thought that they were broken up and that he wasn't going to go to.
I just told you, like, when he's like, oh, I forgot. I don't know that happened.
Ridiculous though, right?
I don't even need to discuss
like,
Ben anymore.
I felt so bad. Like,
that, like, the women in this season, I don't have. Meg is not in this season, so I don't have any, like, ill will. I think they were all good, genuine, good people that I could see, you know, males falling in love with very easily.
Yeah.
I don't have any, like, qualms with that. My issues are very small, like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone's annoying in their own way. So, like, Sarah being annoying to me
is
like,
in her own way.
Doesn't negate the fact that I think she's a good person.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, at the end of the day, she's annoying about things that
matter
about
in this
equality.
world.
You know what I mean?
Things
like,
that matter in this
world. How can you really
hate
someone that's annoying about equality?
Equality.
Like, you don't.
And that is speaking about things that are not, like, the BLM stuff is... Wow.
Yeah, and, like, it's a strong thing that she even, like, it's not even just, like, gay rights because that's in her face and, like, you know, with her sister. No. It's literally, like, oh, BLM and, like... I didn't see you with any black people. You know what I mean?
No,
like, so it's, like, it's really
real,
endearing, whatever. And so, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I think Sarah's a really, really good person. And I think, obviously, like, you know, she's pretty, too. Yeah. She's, you know, she has a good package. It's just that she was annoying when I saw her.
Whenever it was that. No, I think she deserved better from Ben in that moment, is what I meant to say in that. But... you know, she'll find somebody, or did she already find somebody?
Let's talk about that tea for just a minute.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was said that, like, Sarah and Joey could be dating. Yeah. She actually acknowledged today, March 13th, that they're not dating, but I don't know what's going to happen in the future, which to me seems like they're talking.
Okay, they're talking.
Or, like, the floodgates are open. I don't know.
There'd be no point in you dating him, sis.
I don't know why you would date someone that literally took a longboard to their wedding. Like, it was a fucking joke and they're at the skate park. Don't even come for me, anybody, because literally to me, there's one thing that this man did not want you and played in my face on TV. There's a whole other thing that you literally longboarded down the aisle. Yeah. Like, you're at a skate park at the rec center. Don't even ever defend it. I don't care what anyone wants to say. Oh, it's a part of this person. No. And then you brought the same long. Actually, I think it's a different longboard to the reunion. Like, it's a joke. Like, everything is just one happy joke. Whatever. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah. That is so disrespectful. No, this was to me. It is. It's so. You didn't have a longboard whenever we were taking the pictures with my sister. And we're actually outside, but you're gonna have a longboard down the aisle? Are you kidding?
Crazy. The whole longboard thing. Are you kidding? You know what it was? That longboard is literally, like, symbolic of just how much of a joke you thought this was. Let's get into this.
Okay, so Meg and Mason didn't end up staying together. Shocker.
Shocker there.
I'm very shocked, right? They didn't end up staying together. My God, really? Because I saw just complete sparks, and I thought that they were going to be married, and I thought they were going to go back onto the show.
Yeah.
What? No. They're not together? That's so weird.
I'm not surprised by that. I was like, good, bro. Like,
the only good thing about Meg was her eyeliner at the reunion.
Her dress is nice. Her dress is kind of nice. The only good thing about Meg is that I guess she's a ride or die friend for Mason.
No, she's a ride or die for males because she's a pick-me.
Yeah, maybe I agree with that one. Definitely was big pick me. So I just want to pick apart this and Madison thing and this stuff that's been going on, like how she's manipulative. So I just want to know, how could she be manipulative? And you guys are calling Madison manipulative, but you never called Mason manipulative when they both were dating two people. Ever see Madison ever try to make herself be like, oh, I want to go after someone that she didn't want? She pushed Mason away so many times for him to just be like, let it go for himself to figure it out, where she was pulling back the whole time. I saw that there 100%, especially after, I think it was a couple episodes in, that she was just not having the same conversations with him, and he didn't just pick up on that. And I just don't know how that was manipulative. And he said that you manipulate me to like you. I'm like, what? Go ahead.
Okay, so the fact that, Mason is not smart enough to ever be manipulative, I think is literally the most stupid thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, what do you, like, okay, just because you're manipulative does not mean you're diabolical. Like, yeah, that's right. People do manipulations to variants of degrees. Mm-hmm. And to me, it was like the fact that she said, like, oh, no, I didn't say you're a manipulator. I felt manipulated. And then Meg is like, well, actually, you said in an interview, da-da-da. And she's like, yes, because I felt like that. And she's like, I still think that he's a good guy or whatever else. And it's like, because you feel manipulated, because you feel hurt by something, even if that's not someone's intentions, does not mean that, you know what I mean, that you don't have a right to feel that way. Yeah, you have a right. Just like how Mason felt the right that she manipulated him. Yeah, like, it's fine if you feel that way, whatever, but to say someone's actually a manipulator is different, because that means, like, that's, like, their job. That's what they do. That's what they do. Versus if you felt that way. Now, to me, the fact that, I don't even want to honestly talk about Alex, because, he is just, like, bad written all over him. But to me, the fact that, like, Meg was just even defending Alex as well, and it was like, girl, why are you on these man's sides? Like, she literally has the receipts, and like, I saw a lot of people online as well saying that, oh, it's funny that, Madison has the receipts because she's not showing, like, what she's saying in the conversations. And I was like, yes, because even if Madison was making fun of the fact that they were together, she's trying to show Meg that Alex does not have your back regardless of what I said. Mm-hmm. And if you want someone that's a flip-flopper, like, oh, he's saying it to me because he's trying to join in or whatever, why would you even want a flip-flopper then? That's what I'm saying. Way, she's trying to show you the holes in Alex's personality, and you're not getting it. And you want to know why? It's because it's a male. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's because of Madison and she cares about Alex. No, it's the fact that it's a male and she's going to be on the male side. It was ridiculous. Now, let's also talk about the fact that Meg was like, oh, well, you lied to us, and that's why you can be classified as a manipulator, because you told us that it was a mutual breakup. And I was like, when did you see that? I never saw that she said it was a mutual breakup. I never saw that at all either. She was there crying, and she's like, I'm done, I'm leaving. Yeah. I never saw that she said that. Where did she say that? Yeah, no. And then on top of that, too, it's like, let's not act like people aren't human. Yeah. And in the aspect of, okay, let's say, whatever, she said that. Let's say that she did say it. It was mutual, whatever else. Pretend like that's not a normal thing that, like, someone's gonna try and save face, Yeah. Especially, like, you're already heartbroken over, everyone's asking you, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, it was mutual. But, like, okay. Yeah. I said it was mutual to try and save face, whatever, like, that's a normal thing. A lot of people do that. No, a lot of people do that. Yeah. Just like when they get fired from a job. Oh, well, I was gonna quit anyway. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like it's like an ego thing, and that's fine if you have an ego problem. No, it's fine. But she admitted that she was wrong for that, though. No, but she admitted that, okay, yeah, I did say that. And the thing is, what annoyed me so much about this is that everything that she did wrong, she owned up to, had no problem to, but nobody else here ever wanted to own up to the things that they did wrong. Like, my other thing about this whole thing with the Mason thing, how he's like, I got manipulated to that you liked me. And then she's like, wait, hold up.
I actually did like you and have feelings for you up to a point.
Who said
so what are you
I wasn't
talking
crying about it, that I wasn't hurt about it?
Yeah.
Who said any of that?
That's
you committed to me, and that obviously I had feelings for you. That's why I was so hurt about the fact that like you took it back.
Yeah.
I still liked you, and I liked you. I was in like with you, but I was in love with someone else.
Yes.
It doesn't negate either.
That's what I'm saying. And I was like, Mason, like, bro, what are you talking about? I still like you, and I think you're a genuine guy, but I'm not understanding where this is coming from. I think that Meg was just
like
feeding a lot of Meg was just
Uh-huh.
feeding a lot of nonsense into that conversation, and that. The one thing that I also
video was so disturbing. I actually fast forwarded. I literally fast forwarded. I couldn't watch it.
The last thing I just wanted to say about this is he felt pressured to say that he was committed to somebody. Okay, you felt pressured.
But not once was it Meg who was.
Why did you feel pressured? Why did you not say I committed to Meg?
And you didn't say anything back.
That's what I'm saying.
I missed you.
Yeah, you didn't say anything back, and you said I felt pressured to pick, or you felt pressured to commit to someone. So why didn't you commit to Meg then? Because you had more feelings for Madison. Why did you not admit that there? And I'm so annoyed because Meg just didn't want to get embarrassed. Because I'm like, why wouldn't Meg? I just really wanted.
Because if they really went down to the nitty and gritty,
yeah.
It would have literally made Meg look so stupid. And Madison was like, I don't even care about this situation. Like, I think you're a good guy. Like, leave it at that. Like, we don't need to have each other's numbers. And like, fine. If they really went down to the nitty and gritty or whatever, it literally would have been like, okay, if you were committed, if you said you were committed to me and then you took it back because it didn't feel right, but then you never said it to Meg after, because she went on a date after you said you were committed to me, and you never said it to her too, and been like, oh, and we're transparent and saying like, okay, I actually said it to Madison, it didn't feel right, so it made me realize that it was right to say it to you.
That's what you know what I'm saying? He could have said I committed to any of the girls. It could have been, why did he pick Meg? He picked Madison because it was his number one. So you going and telling Meg that you were always my number one is ridiculous, because then why did you commit to
And
Meg?
her believing it is like, okay, you're just top pick me.
You're just like ridiculous. I'm done. The other thing I really, really, really wanted them, like Vanessa and Nick, to get in on this, to ask more questions to Alice about this situation, is you saw that you're supposed to be friends with Mason, but you saw him and hyped him up knowing that he was going to get broken up with and didn't tell him. If he was supposed to be
I don't know why that
why did they not bring that up?
I don't know why that wasn't. So yeah, we know Alex is the biggest snake, and he has, you know, there are some receipts online that he is a PDF, and so let's just wait for the law to deal with that. Now we'll get into a little bit of Dave and Lauren. Obviously, we know that Dave said that he let a good one go, but is it believable? I don't think so. Who was the sister really supposed to look out for? It was supposed to be him, because he was the biggest snake also as well. Yeah. The top 5 moments as well was like, made no sense. I don't know how Meska with her dog, feeding the dog wine, was not number 1. That's crazy.
That wasn't it. It was the one whenever she told Jimmy that you're going to choke.
I know. I'm saying I don't know how that was not in the number 1.
I don't even know why that's even...
Jessica feeding her dog wine should have been literally in that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I actually don't even get...
I bypassed those as well, because I was like, I already knew that those ones were wrong.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so AD and Ollie engaged. Congratulations. Hopefully it works out.
Yeah, hopefully. That's good.
How long have they been together at this point? We know last year. So yeah, I think they've only been together for like a year.
But then again, they went on Love is Blind, so they were both on Love is Blind.
He
was on Love is Blind.
I get hers like, whenever she said that they both have like the right intentions going into it, because they know the kind of questions to ask, because they both dealt with the wall kind of thing, and so they know how to do it, which is nice and like kind of believable.
For sure. Because they both wanted to get married.
Yeah,
if they were there for the right reason to get married.
So good intentions. I think good building stones as well. Yes. Them also being long distance, you know, shows the commitment, resilience, and the want to be together kind of thing. So.
I felt so good for her, because I know she really wanted.
Yeah, I genuinely liked AD on her season.
You did, yeah.
So I was like, okay, good. You know, whenever I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, good. And like she reacted, like Vanessa crying. I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
That is so sweet.
She reacted so cutely when she's like, oh my god, are you being serious? Like, wait, is this a joke? Like, are you? Do you mean it? Do you mean it? He's like, yeah, of course.
Of course.
It was just so funny.
Vanessa crying.
So
even Virginia was crying. Like, she had a tear too.
Yeah.
I was like, it was so sweet moment to actually watch. So it was nice to see that people don't even know AD were like genuinely happy, and Vanessa knowing what she went through was great.
Yeah.
Being Mama Vanessa and that. So, last thoughts I have for you. Where does this season rank for you in terms of like just drama? Obviously, we got the lowest.
Like this whole seas's a 2. I don't.
2.
It wasted my damn time.
Do you think it's getting too scripted? Like they're putting people in as like kind of like plants to script things to happen to make more drama?
I don't think. I already told you. Like I already changed the way I'm gonna look at the show. I think it's like a too hot to handle to me now. It's not genuine. It's not sincere. I'm not saying that the people aren't. I'm just saying that the way that everything goes isn't. Mm-hmm. I think that, yes, they may have like plants or whatever, but I don't have a problem with that either. And I just don't waste my damn time. Like, why did you show the M&Ms if they weren't even making it to the end? Like, why? Yeah. And then like there was a whole other couple that actually did get engaged. Yeah. There's 2 others that and you didn't show them because for some reason whatever, but they ended up staying together. So just don't waste my damn time.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're on to the next one.
On to the next one. And so stay tuned, guys, to watch the reel, or I find out live what video I'm watching for I Watch You. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in.
Subscribe, like, share.